Good morning. So we're up to Siman Reish Samach Gimel Seif Dalet. We're continuing our halachas, our learning of hadlokas neiros. Says the Mechaber lo yakdim lemaher ladlikai ba'od hayom gadol. You shouldn't light Shabbos candles too early. She'oz ein nikar shemadlika lekavod Shabbos, because then it's not clear that you're doing it lekavod Shabbos. V'gam lo ya'acher, and so too that you shouldn't do it too late. V'imroitz lahadlik ner ba'od hayom gadol. If a person wants to light when it's still daylight and be makabel Shabbos, then that's absolutely fine. Because that's not that's not too early. So long as it's not before plug, it's going to be only after plug. Which is 1.25 halachic hours. If you already got a light which is burning already, and you want to use that for your Shabbos candles, then extinguish it and relight it lekavod Shabbos. Okay, says the Mishnah Berurah Tesvav, ba'od hayom gadol. Hainu k'shuzman harbe kodim tosefes Shabbos. We're talking about a long time before tosefes Shabbos. Again, of course it's after plug. But you're lighting early. Uzman tosefes Shabbos Shulchan Aruch hu ma'at kodim sof hashkia, a little bit before shkia. V'ayim bebe halacha. V'ayim b'siman reish samachalev Mishnah Berurah Seif Katan Chof Gimel. The maskin and sham the misha perish atzim melacha chatzi shah al kol pam shlish shah kodim shkia. That if a person stops doing melacha half an hour or 3/4 of an hour before shkia, ashrei loy, happy is he to who yotze boy day kol rishonim, because he's being yotze or the shitta of the rishonim to bring to stop doing melacha at the fair time before Shabbos. Lo ya'acher. He can do it early, but he shouldn't light candles too late. Hainu tehechashu madlik but simtzum but sovis man hamuta. He's doing it right. He's going to the wire. V'atam mishum deshema benkach ubenkach yachazman. The worry is that he's gonna miss the boat and he'll go over the time. V'ayin le'el b'siman rish samach beisiv kotnu yudalef Mishnah Berurah Yudzayin ulekabel alov. Hainu sheyifresh atzum mikol melachas asuros. He should be perish. He should desist from doing any melachas. V'afilu me'osum dvarim shehem asur midrabon. Even the Rabbanons. Ulamalo, avol kreidim plaga mincha ein kabbalas af b'diavad. But he shouldn't do it too early, because then even his kabbalah, his lighting is not even good b'diavad. V'ayim b'siman reish samachalev Seif Katan Chafei b'Mishnah Berurah. Okay, Yutes, what is this going on? This is going on. This is going on. He bilvad. He shouldn't, so long as it's after plaga mincha, which is 1.25 halachic hours before night. Says the Mishnah Berurah Yutes, Hanut Seis Shlosh Kechovim. That's before the emergence of 3 stars. V'das halavush v'hagra, to plug hamincha u'shar v'rvia kodim shkia. The Gan and the lavush hold that working out plug 1.25 hours is before shkia. L'kula alma shar v'rvia zuhi shar zmanis. Everyone agrees, whether you hold it before Tseis, whether you hold it before shkia, everyone agrees we're talking about 1.25 halachic hours, shos manias. The hanushim etchila kol mischalik, kol yom l'shneim osa chalakim lefisha esav. You divide the day into 12 hours, 12 units. Bein shehu orach ukotza, whether it's long or short. In the winter it'll be short, and in the summer it'll be long. La Shulchan Aruch mischalik lemihalos hashacha ad seisa kechovim. And for the Shulchan Aruch, you then take those 12 hours and you calculate them from alois till tzeis. You go from nets until shkia. Okay, that's the famous machlekes. So the Ramah says that you can light Shabbos candle if there was a candle lit from Friday afternoon and you want to use that for Shabbos, then you just have to extinguish it and relight it. Says the Mishnah Berurah Seif Katan Chof, even if it was after plug. It was, you lit this candle for some other purpose. But if you lit it initially for Shabbos, even if you weren't makabel Shabbos by lighting it, in that situation, since it was initially lit l'shem lekavod Shabbos, you don't need to extinguish it. After lechatchila, even though lechatchila you shouldn't have lit that candle so early, she'ein the nikash madikin l'tzarech Shabbos, because it's not clear you're doing it l'shem Shabbos. Mikol makom b'di'eved shapir dami. Fine, bevi halacha. Okay, good. So just to summarize what we said, that don't light Shabbos candles too late or too early, not before plug, and don't leave it to the wire. But you can light it, after plug quite early on. That is fine. If you've got a candle which is already lit, from that time you should extinguish it and relight it l'kavod Shabbos.
If you light a candle before plug without a bracha,
that's nothing. It's as if you lit it on Tuesday.
You can't make a bracha.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You need to do hadlaka, ma'aseh hadlaka. Yeah. Okay. Hey, now here this is interesting. Hey, we're going to talk about the bracha that we make. Okay, so let's take a look. Says the Mechaber in Sif Hey, K'sheyadlik yivorech bracha to Hashem Elokeinu melech ha'olam asher kishon mitzvah v'zivonu lahadlik ner shel Shabbos. Echad ha'ish ve'echad ha'isha. It doesn't make a difference. Whoever's lighting, man or woman, always makes that bracha. Gam b'yontav tzorech levorech lahadlik ner shel yontav. We make the same nusach. Of Yom HaKippurim below Shabbos, and when Yom Kippur comes and it's not on a Shabbos, it's on another day. Yesh mi she'omer shelo yivorech. There are those who say you don't make that bracha when for Yom Kippur. However, it says Ramah, Yesh mi shemesh mevarchin kodim hadlacha. You do make the bracha. V'yesh mi shemesh V'yesh mi shemesh mevarchin kodim hadlacha. So the Mechaber had said nothing. The Mechaber just said the nusach of the bracha. The Ramah says that there is a machlokes. When do you actually make the bracha? Yesh mi shemesh mevarchin kodim hadlacha. There are those who say you make the bracha first, then you light. V'yesh mi shemesh mevarch acha hadlaka. They actually do it afterwards. Because it should be over l'asiyasa. Alright, so that's the debate. We'll see the Mishnah Berurah soon to see the Stodim. So there's a big debate when you actually make the bracha. Do it before or do you do it afterwards? Lo yehene memena ad lacha bracha. So in order that it should be over l'asiyasa, you don't get benefit until after you light the bracha. Masimen hayad lifnei haner. You put your hands in front of the candle. Acha hadlaka after you've lit. Umavarchin, and then you make the bracha. Va'achach mesalkin hayad. V'zeh mikri over l'asiyasa v'chein haminak. So in other words, you've got two opinions of when you actually make the bracha. The first opinion is make the bracha before the hadlaka, because that's the normal rule. You do something over l'asiyasa, you make the bracha, you do the mitzvah. Netilas lulav, you make the bracha, you shake the lulav. That's one opinion. The other opinion is that you can't do that because once you made the bracha, you're going to be Makabel Shabbos, and therefore light the candles before you Makabel Shabbos, and then you make the bracha afterwards. What about over l'asiyasa? Says the Ramah that you light the candles, then you sort of cover your hands, or cover the candles, he says, make the bracha, and then you sort of remove your hands, and you can see the light, and you're getting the hana, and that's called over l'asiyasa, and that is in fact our minhag, that's what we do. The shayla is on Yontef, but we'll talk about that in a second. Says the Mishnah Berurah Sif Kotam Chaf Aleph, Mishayadlik. So the Mechaber says when you make you're madlik, you make the bracha Asher Kishon Mitzvah Zivonu lahadlik ner shel Shabbos. Now, yesh oimrim Kashiyesh chuppah be'erev Shabbos u'ma'achrin bo ad achas shkia sachama. You've got an interesting problem. You've got a shkia like they would often do in the shtetl on a Friday, because they could only afford one meal a week, and you can't afford a chasna and a Friday Shabbos meal, Friday night meal. So therefore they would double up. So you have a chasna on Friday afternoon, and ma'achrin bo ad achas shkia sachama, and it's going late. The suda, the chasna was like an hour or two before shkia, and then you're going to go into the suda, or you're delayed. For isha ein reitzel lekabel Shabbos b'pnei achama, b'pnei achupa, pen tistorich lasos oid eiz adov ha'os b'Shabbos. She doesn't want to be mekabel Shabbos before she goes to the chuppah, because maybe there's something she needs to do to be mekabel Shabbos, some sort of melacha. Al kain tadlik haner below bracha kodim ha'chuppah. So what should she do? She should light candles before the chuppah. This is of course after plug. And then v'achkach b'chashecha tifres yodeh al haneres v'tevarich. And then she should, after the chasna, she should go back after night. She should then sort of stretch her hands over the nearest and make the bracha. Or she could ask a non-Jewish person to light for her. Like we said before, we're not goyzen. You can ask the non-Jewish person to light the candles for you. And then she makes the bracha. So again, a woman has got the chasna just before Shabbos. She doesn't want to be mekabel Shabbos too early because she wants to go to the chasna being able to still do melacha. And what should she do? Either light the candle and then come home and make the bracha later, or ask a non-Jewish person to light the candle bin hashmoshes, and this lady makes she herself, the Jewish person, makes the bracha. Says the Mishnah Berurah, the Tomo Achronim alzen. The Achronim are very perplexed by this. The lo shaykh bracha but look of emedes. How can you make a bracha if it's already lit? You're making a bracha la hadlik ner shel Shabbos. It's already lit. But prat, da'ata who's man is lahadlik, especially now, it's already too late to light. It's not the zman to light. Ve'eich tomer v'tzivonu lahadlik. V'alidach takona to tomer le'en Yehudi lahadlik. And on the other takona, that you ask a non-Jewish person to light, gam kein kosher. That's also difficult. Ha'in shlichus le'en Yehudi. That's what there's no shlichus for a guy, and therefore, how can that work? V'im kein he eina madlekes, and it comes out that this Jewish person is not making, is not lighting candles. Ve'eich tevarich, and therefore, how can she make a bracha? Va'afilu Yisrael, and even if you mitzvah another Jewish person to light, gam kein das Orach Chaim the mitzvah levarich rak hamadlik. Then it's either way. The mitzvah is the person who's commanding, instructing, is not the one making the bracha. It's the madlik who makes the bracha. So either way, you got a real problem here. Kol shekein bezed or isha lo sevarich. Or maske achronim. Therefore, the achronim conclude. Eitza acheres. I've got a better suggestion. Dahainu lefima dekaim lo nekalan dichol levarich lahasnos, that she can make a bracha and light, and then make a t'nai. I'll call upon him, but it's tzorech she'en mekabel Shabbos b'hadlaka, that she's not being mekabel Shabbos with that lighting. Hachanami b'nyonenu havi l'tzorech, and this is a tzorech. She's going to a chasna, and therefore she should make a bracha, light candles, and just make a t'nai that she's not being mekabel Shabbos. V'hadlik u'tvarech kedim she'aleches l'chupa v'tasne. V'adin nami b'isha shechol leil tfilos, where a Shabbos to a woman who's going to the mikvah on Friday night, hadlik u'tvarech, she should light, make the bracha, kedim halichosa beis atfila, v'sasne, and she should make a t'nai, she'en mekabel Shabbos ad achar rechitza v'chafifa. So there's got to be a real tzorech to make this t'nai. I think we discussed it, that where it features, apart from these cases, in the shtetl going to a chuppah or going to the mikveh or something like that, but where it also features is a woman who's in Yerushalayim and wants to go to the Kosel Friday night, and she wants to drive there, or she wants to get there early and daven mincha there, or whatever it may be. So you've got other issues there. So I've heard from Hershel Shechter. He spoke in the girls' school a few months ago, and he spoke about Hadlakas Neiros, and I asked him this question. I said, if going to the Kosel, is that enough of a tzorech? And he said yes. Now I have asked this question to other gedolim, and they were more surprised. It's to Rav Nevinsal, and he was a bit more hesitant about it. But they don't like the Tanai. They like you being mekabel Shabbos when you light candles. But you see here clearly from the Shabura, there are situations where you are allowed to do it. So anyway, that's one of the issues. So what the Mishnah Berurah certainly suggests is, in a situation of a tzorech, to make a t'nai, to light properly with the bracha, and to make a t'nai. Okay, lahadlik ner. Mishnah Berurah Chof Beis. Let's just finish off this simon. This sif. Va'afilu kashemadlik kama neres. Even if a woman is lighting many candles, tov yoseh sheman ner. You still, the nusach of the bracha still stays the same. Lahadlik ner and not neiros. Ki ikach chiyuv or nerechad, because the ikach chiyuv is just to light one candle. Now, so the Mishnah, the Ramah said that you've got these two ways of doing it. Either you make the bracha first, or you light first and you make the bracha afterwards. And gam b'yontov ve'ein tzorich levarich zman hadlaka. You don't need to make a bracha shechiyonu. Miu b'makom shenagu ein limchus b'yodan. And our minhag is we do make a shechiyonu on the lighting candles. Okay, ner shel yontov ve'im chal yontov v'Shabbos. If yontov falls on Shabbos, omer shel Shabbos v'shel yontov. Ve'ein lekam and siman tov reshut. The heavy shama mechaber das haposek hamatzrich levarich. To svirle de gam b'yom kippurim, even on Yom Kippur. In other words, there are two reasons why we light candles. One is so that it should be Onik Shabbos, it should shed light on the food, and that would enhance the Onik Shabbos, and also because of Shalom Bayis. So on a Yom Kippur, on a regular Yom Kippur, what do you do? If it's because of Onik Shabbos, because of the food, you're not eating. If it's because of Shalom Bayis, there is. And therefore the minhag is that we do make. If you look at 35, he goes, for Hosif Harimah, Shekina Minhag Medina Seinu, the our minhag is that we do make a bracha of hadlakas ner on Yom Kippur, because of Mishnah Berurah Sham she'achar shenoga kain chayv gemur lahadlik levarich mishum shalom bayis, and therefore our minhag is to do that, and therefore is a chayv to make a bracha. When Medina she'ein bo minhag kavua kosav b'shatzion sham she'bevadei tov yoseh lahanik shel levarich. If there is no fixed minhag, then better to not make a bracha. But I think in our communities the minhag certainly is to make a bracha on hadlakas ner of Yom Kippur. Now, then the Ramah says there are yesh mishomer shemevarchin kodim hadlaka siv katan chafvav v'shah kol hamitzvah shemevarchin alen kasha kol hamitzvah shemevarchin alen evelas yasam. That's because that's the normal thing to do. You make the bracha, then you do the mitzvah. However, There are those who have the minhag to do it after the hadlaka. Svirle, says the Mishnah Berurah, im tevarich, because if you make the bracha, have a ki'ilu kabbalah l'Shabbos beferish, as if you've been mekabel Shabbos explicitly, for shuv asor l'hadik, and therefore you can't light. V'im kain beyontiv now, and therefore that's why the minhag is to do the other way around. V'im kain beyontiv to le'shayich b'zeh, on yontiv where it's not shaykh, is because you can still make, you can light candles on yontiv by from an existing flame. You can light candles. L'kula alma tevarich v'achakach tadlik. There are those who say you always make the bracha first and then you light, so you're makayim the overlas yosim. V'das hamogen avram de loy plug. The Mogen Avram says there's a loy plug. This is very famous, and he says that across the board you always light first and then you make the bracha. And therefore the debate is out when it comes to Yontif. So again, just to summarize, what is the order of hadlokas nearest in the bracha? The Ramah says yesh misha mevarchin, and then you make the hadlaka because over lasiyason. There are those who says that you can't do that because once you make the bracha you're being mekabel Shabbos, and therefore you light. You then make the bracha afterwards, and that's why you cover your hands, because then you remove the hands after you've lit, and you then, the woman davens, and then she moves her hands away, and she's seen the light, and that's a kiyum, a little bit of overlas yason. Just very quickly, if you look at the famous behalacha here, acha hadlaka, he says, ayin b'mishnah berurah, v'isha shemasis she'ena mekabel Shabbos b'hadlaka, ish, to kaim lon lekaman de'ein tzorech lahasnes, mashma derech chaim, dafilu hochi yadliku v'yifrus yudeim v'achkach yivarchu. Even still, a woman who is not makabel Shabbos with hadlaka because she makes a t'nai, like we've said, she should still do the hands mishum deloy plug u'chudas hamogen avram. Avam medivrei hagon b'kiva ega b'chidush medivrei chayot move the bezei yivarchu akach yadliku. That they actually, on the contrary, if she's making the t'nai, she should make the bracha first and then she should be madlik. So that's if you're making a t'nai, she's not makabel Shabbos. What should she do? That is the debate, and b'kiva ega says to make the bracha first and then to be madlik. Say it.